Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to 3 Rivers Outdoors.
Today we're going to be making a meal in a jar. In fact, this is going to be chicken soup. You can actually store it in a jar or a bag. And Jay, why don't you tell them why we're making this?
Well, it's an extremely cold day in January of 2017.
And our Uncle Don Porta, who we'll put a link to his channel below, he does some wonderful things, inspired us to do this with his video on dehydrating celery and how he stores it. So Jay, how are we going to start today?
Well, we're going to start by dehydrating it in our lemon dehydrator.
So guys, we're going to go through some of the basic ingredients of our chicken soup, how much and what and how we kind of did this. So what we did is we found a really interesting recipe. Usually when we make it at home, we just make it from scratch, but what we're aiming for is a serving size of 2 cups per person, which we're going to make 8 servings. We're estimating right now that some of the water that you'll see here in the jar to Jay's left is going to go to be using to reconstitute our vegetables. So what we've done is we've cut up, and what we have here is 2 cups of onions. So we're going to actually put these on a tray. We'll kind of spread them out a little bit. These are going to go on a dehydrator tray. And here, Jay, maybe you can. I'll slide this over. Let's scooch this back. Why don't you spread those out there, Jay, on our tray? Just a little bit. Over there to the left. Here, I'll scooch this over. For you. The next ingredient, we have 2 cups of matchstick carrots. Rather than cut these up ourselves, we decided that we were just going to buy the matchstick style carrots at our local Giant Eagle grocery store. And what we'll do is we're just going to spread these guys out on our parchment paper that was pre-cut to fit the Lem dehydrator. You can see we just got a roll of Reynolds parchment paper from Giant Eagle or Walmart. It wasn't very expensive. One thing we won't be dehydrating is 2 cups of orzo noodles. The orzo noodles are going to go in. We got this because we know that 2 ounces or 1/3 cup dry equals the amount of servings in this container that we're going to need. So we'll set those aside. We also have, how much celery there, Jay? What do you see? What's that say?
1 cup.
1 cup of celery. So we'll spread that 1 cup of celery that Jay so graciously cut up here in the kitchen for us over on that parchment paper there. We don't need to spread it all the way out because we're going to use one of these. Oh yeah, we have an extra. We're going to use one of these for one last thing. Okay, so that goes here. And our last ingredient, we have 3/4 of a cup of parsnip, which we found out was a pretty good tasting vegetable. We shredded the parsnips, however, and you could tell here, and we'll show you some up-close pictures of how these things look. So we're going to spread this out. And then the last thing that we did was we have 2 packed tablespoons of parsley, and we got the fresh parsley. I'm sure you could probably, if you wanted to, use your own dehydrated already parsley. Jay seems to like it. he saves a couple for himself, so for whatever reason. What we're going to do is we're going to spread that out. And that is the way that our dehydrator is going to look. So you have carrots here, some celery, parsley, a parsnip, and then 2 cups of onions. The last thing that we did is we took 24 peppercorns.
Oh, yeah.
24 peppercorns, and then we managed to measure out for our serving size. And what we're going to do is we're going to assume it's going to be 10 cups of water. We're guessing it's going to be about 8 boiled down once we reconstitute the vegetables and the noodles. And this is actually 16, I believe this was tablespoons of chicken bouillon mix. Now, if you're doing this at home, make sure you take your 10 cups and you also measure out this properly. Sometimes the bouillon is 1 tablespoon per cup, and the one that we used was 2.
Yeah.
So Jay measured this out, and our peppercorns are in here on the bottom. We won't be dehydrating this. This is already very dry and packs very well. So the next step, guys, we're going to put this in the dehydrator, and then we're going to turn it on, go overnight, and you will see us tomorrow put the rest of this video together. So in a second, we're going to go load this in the dehydrator.
The next step is to load up the dehydrator. So we're going to be setting all of these 4 trays, as you can see, in the dehydrator. So first one goes like this, straighten it out. Second one goes like this. And these fit perfectly, no matter which way you put them in. This one goes in. Actually, yeah. Okay, so that's that. And then this just sets on like that. And I believe
the switch is in the back. Why don't you hit that red switch?
Yep, and once I press the switch, I believe it starts. Actually, we need to add a time, I believe. So how long are we going to do this?
8 hours.
Hours? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 hours, no minutes, just
no minutes, just 8 hours and 130 degrees on the temperature gauge.
And then this is going to be 130 right about now.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll check back with you guys tomorrow once our vegetables are dehydrated. Hey everybody, good morning. Again, Three Rivers Outdoors. This is the second half of our video on the meal in a jar with the dehydrated food. Couple of things I was thinking about last night. You might be asking, well, where's the chicken for the chicken soup? We decided yesterday that it might be best to use like a fresh chicken in a can. About a year ago we tried this, and the one thing that didn't reconstitute all that well was the chicken. It was kind of tough and wasn't the best tasting. This would actually, again, make a great vegetable soup recipe. So I'm going to show you kind of on this video as well, in a few pictures of what the vegetables turned out like. And once my helper wakes up, the other Jay, he will hopefully show you the total volume. We were up pretty late last night messing around with this video, so oddly enough he slept in and my alarm went off, and today is Martin Luther King Day and we don't need to be awake. So we're going to enjoy a little bit of breakfast here this morning, hopefully, and make the rest of this video. But so this is our lemon dehydrator. The lid literally lifts off, it just sits in there. I'll give you an idea. Just these are the carrots. They are literally like little shoestrings, and they're terribly hard. Very crunchy. We'll set that aside. This here is the parsley and parsnip, which again, the parsnip is almost like in little chips, and the parsley is very small. And again, back to my Uncle Don's video, the celery is literally like, it's almost like dust compared to where it was. I think he had mentioned on his video something like 90% water. I could totally see that. And lastly, the onion did turn out really good. The onion, albeit the larger pieces might be a little springier, the onion also turned out really, really good. So maybe we might leave the onion in for another, let's say half an hour or so at 135 degrees. The nice thing about the lemon dehydrator is on the top it tells you exactly how many hours and at what temperature works best. So again, once the other Jay wakes up, I will have him help put this together. Hey guys, welcome back to our Meal in a Jar episode. My trusty assistant here finally got up from being asleep all night, not going to bed until very, very late. Today, again, Martin Luther King Day, so we had the luxury of not being in school today. So we're going to show you kind of what our plans are for the rest of this little project. So again, what we have here, we have 2 cups of dry noodles. These just happen to be orzo noodles. You can use really any kind of noodle. So we're going to put these here in the jar, hopefully as neatly as possible. It's a little difficult to kind of keep them from pouring out. We probably should have got a big funnel, but of course we're very ill prepared this morning. So there you see, we'll get those last couple in there. Alright, what do you want to put in next, Jay? Why don't we do the celery next? So we had a couple pieces of tape on a few of these. Do you want to hold the jar for me? I'll stick this over here.
Just hold it back.
Yeah. Okay, so our celery is going in next. You want to kind of tap that, or let's make it nice little layers there, buddy. Why don't you take care of getting that to be a nice layer? Try not to mix them so you can sort of see, we'll be able to see what's in it, right? Okay, so I'll set this aside. Next, I think we should do our carrots. What do you say?
And then let's do the onions, that's going to be the most difficult.
Yeah. Okay, you ready to hold that jar? Use your fingers to kind of flatten that down. Don't shake it because that'll spread everything else out. The carrots are kind of like how would you describe this? Sort of like shoestrings almost.
Yeah.
So those can kind of be packed down. We're gonna do our onions next. And actually, I put these onions back in for about 45 minutes. They were just a tad spongy. Everything else, the carrots were dry in like 4 hours. The parsnips were dry really quick. The parsley was dry really quick. But these onions they took a little bit longer.
Let me help you with something real quick. Do not eat the freeze-dried carrots. They do not taste good. I just tried.
Dehydrated carrots.
Dehydrated carrots.
They do not taste good.
No.
Okay, so next, what we're going to try to do so we can keep our layers pretty nice, we're going to try to sort of separate what we have here as best as we can. Again, there will be some mixing. So we'll do our parsley first. Ready? Bring the jar over here.
Oh, this one's going to be difficult to layer.
Well, if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. Guys, you could spend a lot of time making these things look wonderful. We're trying to do this just for, more informative than anything else. So again, it might not be perfect. If you want to spend time making it look perfect, that's great. If not, then you don't have to. Lastly, we're going to just do our parsnips here. Let me, why don't you think you can dump that in, Jabber?
Yeah, hold the, I got it.
I'll hold the jar. Okay.
So, if you look, let me find a good angle. I'll get up for the camera. So, as you can see, we have the regular stuff, and then we have the noodles. Then we have the celery, the carrots, the onions, and then let's turn it, parsley, and the parsnip.
Parsnips. And lastly, we need our seasoning. So again, yesterday, and we'll show you a couple of close-up pictures of the jar when we're done. But yesterday, what we did is we measured out what we're and how we're actually going to do this is going to be slightly different than what I described. We made this for 10 cups of water. We're going to start with 8, I think, and just go to taste just to make certain. And we'll post in the editing of this video exactly how many cups of water this tasted like perfect with. Because remember too, we are going to add a can of just like the store-bought chicken breasts that are already deboned and whatnot. We just want to make this like quick and hopefully better than that Lipton soup that you can buy in the store. So you want to help me maybe knock this in there. Use your, there we go. All right, buddy, why don't you tap that down like this? Just give it a little shake. Cap her off. We actually didn't think, we thought this jar was going to be too big.
Exactly.
And it is perfectly full, and it's actually kind of nice looking, huh?
I mean, you gotta get a good angle for the really up the pen.
Yeah, we're gonna show you guys a couple pictures here in a minute, but the last thing that we hope to do today is we're gonna give you.
The best layers I can do.
We're gonna give you we're gonna do a taste test later and try to throw this together for dinner tonight. So. Thanks again for tuning in here. We're going to put the last piece of our taste test here at the end of this video. So again, we'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Three Rivers Outdoors. We're going to show you today how easy our chicken soup in a jar mix is to make. So what we have right now is we have 8 cups of water, which Jay has in our large Pyrex bowl. So he's going to pour that in quickly and carefully. I know in the first video we said we're going to do 10 cups. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to keep 2 cups aside for right now and not pour that in just because we know this is going to absorb some. So then we're going to add in our jar mixture, the entire jar.
It's nice and organized. Not more.
Go a little shake, yeah. Okay, and then we are going to add in 2 cans of chicken, which we have here.
It's already getting soaked in, so.
Yeah, we'll show a picture of that later. We're going to add in 2 cans of just chicken breast. Any kind is fine. We took the lids off already because we definitely want that to kind of fall apart. So we're going to boil that in with the soup. Okay, we're going to put this on the stove and let you know how long it takes to reconstitute, and we'll check back in a few. Hey everybody, this is the final product, and it is incredible. The orzo noodles cooked really well. We boiled it for about a half an hour, so the noodles certainly swelled up quite a bit. The soup is nice and thick, the broth is just right. Maybe you could have a little bit of salt and pepper, but I would say that for certain this was a pretty good recipe. And literally as easy as dumping a jar into what we ended up coming up to was 10 cups of water. So again, folks, thanks for watching Three Rivers Outdoors. We hope you like and comment. And again, check out our uncle's channel, Donald Porta. Thanks again.